actually get the hips over to the right.
Yeah.
So that time, sometimes I'll scoot the hip over the way I was on to get him in the mode of expecting the hip to jump and then jump across. But as soon as he jumps over and gets it, and he's had about 2 strides, I let him melt down, and that's his reward. Because one of the biggest things that'll happen once you start getting the lead change is they give you the swap, and because it's a high energy thing, then they want to get quick. So they need to anticipate the jump laterally and then anticipate shutting down. Now you'll get to a spot where they'll give you a lead change and then they want to shut down. So then you school through that. But it's a heck of a lot easier to drive them forward than it is to shut them down. So I want, from early on, I want them thinking that. And it's as early on as going down this rail, just at the canter when I'm just practicing getting this hip, I may do that some. Get the hip and then melt. So he's starting, if I ever am doing this exercise and he starts to get charging front ways, then I'll ask for the lateral and then I'll let him melt. And I try not to slam him into the ground when I let him melt. I just kind of, let him shut down because I want him to like the fact that he got to stop. You need them to be high energy. You need them to be thinking in a high energy mode for a lead change, but you want that high energy to be going in the hip laterally and not, the shoulders kind of stick and they don't have to go faster, the hip just moves. So that's where ultimately bridleless down the road, I can take my inside leg. So if I'm tracking straight, so if I don't have the reins, I can take my inside leg and touch this shoulder. See how that talks to the shoulder? Then I can take my outside leg and that talks to the hip. So I can hold the inside, but because I'm on a track and I'm going straight, I'm holding the shoulder up with my inside leg, then the outside leg asks for the lead change. But I think the biggest part that's critical is that you take that leg off while the hip is jumping across. And that you recognize how to get the hip to jump across and be willing to put this in them at first where you just flex them, put the leg on, and that means that hip is to get out of the way. And as soon as that hip gets out of the way, my leg comes off. My hand doesn't go away. I'm not going to pitch him away in the front because I want him to hold his front end up. So I don't want him to think, move my hip now when I do it, throw my head away and fall on my forehand. I want him to think, hold my shoulders up, and as soon as I've gotten my hip dumped to the side, she takes the leg off. And I like to use the dressage whip because for me, with my little short legs, I can be more accurate about when I'm putting that pressure on and when I'm not. And then I find if I go to a little bit of a spur later, it's more clear. If I use a spur now, sometimes they'll get a little dull to it because it's hard for me to not accidentally touch them with a spur. His size is better for me. But a horse that really fills up my leg, my heel's like always on them. You watch those cutting horse guys ride, their spurs down below that horse's belly. They can really be clear about when they're going to use it and when they're not. And for me, I can be more clear with this. So, but anyway, that makes sense?